Hello, everyone. Welcome back to East Coast Haunts. I'm MK,
And I'm Sam.
and we are about a week and a half into 2024. I hope everyone is having a good new year so far. I know we got kind of an exciting start to our new year that actually just happened today, so I guess it's not really a start, but I digress. Um, we have a new Patreon to shout out. Thank you, Shannon, for joining.
Woohoo!
A great time to join because we are actually just going to record the first episode of our new series immediately after this episode. But I do have a funny little story about Shannon. So, Shannon tagged us in an Instagram post today and said that she found us through a sticker stuck on the inside of a Penn Station bathroom stall, which I know fate works in mysterious ways, but I am so shocked that that's how someone found our podcast.
So, how did it end up in that bathroom?
I actually put it in the bathroom when I was back in like Penn Station back in August.
I was gonna say this was like at least like pretty much like a half year ago, I think.
Yeah, it was a long time ago because I was there to see Billy Joel in concert, and I we almost missed the train on our way back because I had to pee. And so I went in the bathroom and I like found the sticker in my pocket and I was like just I
Like,
was just in the stall and I
may
was
as
like, you
well
know what?
advertise, take a
Yeah,
marketing
right?
opportunity.
Everyone else is sticking their stickers on the back of this bathroom stall, may as well. And so I'm shocked that it hasn't been like covered up or, peeled off by now, but uh that's some good advertising for our stickers. So they're high quality.
They're durable.
They sure are. If they can survive a Penn Station bathroom,
They
God
could
only knows.
survive a nuclear war.
I was literally, you took the words right out of my mouth. So, anyway, so thank you, Shannon. You gave us a good laugh, and a really cool story to share with our podcast listeners. So, Shannon's a real one.
Yeah,
Um,
shout out Shannon. Have a great new year.
have a great new year. Sam, do you want to tell
Yes.
the people what we are talking about today in our first episode of 2024?
I would love to tell you what our first episode of 2024 is going to be about. It's about something very valuable, something very shiny, something very famous. And it's a little bit different than most of our episodes because this is actually about a haunted object rather than a haunted place. So, today we are going to be talking about the curse of the Hope Diamond.
Dun dun dun.
And I think you and I both knew what the Hope Diamond was before, but I definitely didn't know the the details about it. And it's super interesting. It's been around for like how many years now? I don't know, 600 years
Um,
maybe since the
yeah,
1600s. So,
so only like 400-ish years.
okay, pretend I didn't say that. Um, but I actually am going to be going over the history of the diamond itself, and then MK is going to go over the curse. So, without further ado, I am going to get started unless you have anything to add before I kick off.
Please go right ahead. I'm excited to hear the history of the diamond because I actually don't know much about it.
I know I purposefully did not really look at any of the curses associated with it, so I'm excited to hear your part, but the history is pretty much as interesting as like any of the haunts or the curses and stuff. I mean, it like you said it's been around for 400 years and it's seen a lot in those 400 years. So, we're going to get into the history right now. The Hope Diamond is a 45.52 carat marvel. Like think about a what like I don't know how many carats like the average engagement ring is, but like say it's like 1. Picture 45 diamonds like smushed together. Like this thing is very large
Holy cow.
and very valuable. And it actually came from the Kalur mine in India back in the 1600s like I said. So this diamond was originally um in the mines of India. So
Interesting.
the Hope Diamond, if you've ever seen, I'm sure we'll post a picture with it on our Instagram. Go follow us at East Coast Hans. But it has a deep blue hue. It kind of looks like a sapphire. Like at first look, I would not have thought it was a diamond. I would have thought it was a sapphire. But I don't really know anything about gemstones.
Me
Um,
either.
but so the color of the diamond comes from trace amounts of boron in the crystal structure.
Ooh, that's so interesting. So I thought that, I mean, again, like I have no idea. I'm not a gemologist or,
Gemologist.
I think that's what they're called, or like a jeweler per se. But I thought like diamonds, I thought the thing about diamonds was that like they're like the higher the purity, the more valuable it is, but I guess it doesn't matter totally in this one because it's just so big,
Yeah,
right?
that's a good point. I thought so too, and I thought it was like the more colorless it is, like the more valuable. But maybe since blue is so rare, it's
Mm.
I don't know. But it definitely looks cool. And also under incandescent light, it has like a blackish blue tone to it. So under different lights, it
Ooh.
sort of has like different like tones of blue.
Oh, that's really
Um
cool.
so yeah, really really cool. Um the Hope Diamond first entered, I guess, the historical stage when Jean Baptiste Tavernier, who was a French gem merchant, acquired it. Um, and they don't know exactly when the Hope Diamond was first acquired. Like they think it was between 1640 and 1667, so that's kind of like a large gap. That's like almost 30 years. But um, Tavernier eventually acquired it, and he named it the Tavernier Blue, of course.
Obviously. What other
Like you,
name is there for it?
right? Of course, you have to name it. If you find a 45 carat diamond, you have to name it after yourself.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're a fool. Okay, so this French gem merchant Tavernier, or maybe it's Tavernier. I don't really know. I don't want to
I
disgrace
thought
our
I
French
thought it was
ancestors.
Tavernier because he's French and he pops up a little bit with the curse, so I was
Okay.
familiar with him
Okay,
as
so let's
well.
let's say Tavernier because that sounds a lot more French actually. So Tavernier, he has this diamond. He's so proud of it. 1668, the diamond finds itself in the hands of none other than King Louis XIV of France, who renamed it the French Blue. Because, of course, I think that, if you have a hold of this like epic gemstone, you're going to want to change the name of it to fit your aesthetic.
Obviously.
He's the king of France. He names it the French Blue. And he
What
also
would you name it? Sorry,
well,
I was interrupted,
no,
but
that's a
what
great
would you name
question.
it?
I would name it like Papa Smurf, maybe. Like, because it's blue. My car that I had for like 3 days before like a drunk driver hit it on the road in Philadelphia was Papa Smurf. So I would
Why do
have
I
to name it
not
that.
know this story? Is this the one that got like curb stomped?
Yes, it was like
Yeah,
out on
okay.
the curb, yeah, and like we heard it, like we heard like a huge like glass shatter outside, and we were like, "What was that?" And we looked out, and there was a guy like trying to flee the scene, but he couldn't. So yeah, so I would name him
Papa
Papa
Smurf.
Smurf after my late car. Okay, and what would you? What would you name it?
Um,
What a
I
crazy
I
question.
can't follow. Yeah, I can't follow that.
Maybe like Avatar or something.
I
The
don't know,
genie.
but for me, it's always reminded me. I think it's based on like it's it is like the basis for this, but it always reminded me of the like gemstone necklace in Titanic. You know what I'm
Yes,
talking about?
I used
Yeah.
to think they were the same thing.
I think I mean, it's very clearly like based off the Hope Diamond because it looks exactly like it, but it's like called like the Heart of the Ocean or like the Heart of the
Yes.
Sea or something. So I'd probably name it like a spoof on that, but I can't think of one right now.
Name it Titanic. Name it Jack and Rose. So, okay, so King Louis, he now has the diamond. He names it the French blue, and he also recuts the stone, so it's gets like a little bit smaller because it's being recut. And he adds it to the crown of France. So, of course, like the crown
Ooh,
jewels, like there's tons of jewels on the crown. Um, but the French blue is now one of them, and I have to think it was probably like the centerpiece if I had to guess because it's a gigantic stone. Um, Fast forward, it obviously stays in the French royalty for a while. Now it's 1792, and the French blue faces an unfortunate fate. It is stolen in the chaos of the French Revolution. Not surprising. You know, there was a lot of chaos going on. Of course, someone's gonna break into like the crown jewel room and steal some of the jewels.
Obviously.
Um, and so it's gone for a while, right? Like disappears. It does not come back up for another like 40 something years. It's 1839 and it reemerges. And
Ooh.
yeah, so really cool, right? So they don't really know exactly like what happened in the years that it like the 40 years that it was gone, but a likely scenario is that the French blue was smuggled to London.
Ooh.
Um and so then it was there for a while, and then apparently people think that it was cut again. So it went from being like this really big diamond to like still a really big diamond but cut smaller for the King of France, and then it was cut again. And they think that the small like there's like a smaller so I'm not explaining this well, but obviously there's the main diamond that we now know as the Hope Diamond, but
Right.
there are also smaller pieces that were cut from it that are probably like out there in
Oh,
the world somewhere, that people might not even know it's like made from the Hope Diamond, but
that is so sick.
yeah,
Imagine
isn't that
having
really
a piece of
cool?
the Hope Diamond.
Well, and some people think that it was kind of like they accidentally like butchered it, like they did a bad job on cutting it because
Oh,
apparently 23 carats were taken from it, and they don't think that they were actually trying to get that many carats off of it.
damn.
Yeah.
23 carats is a, what did you say it was in the beginning? Like 69? Is that what you said?
It
45?
it is 45, but I think that that's like I want to say that's like 45 carats now.
Right. I think I read somewhere that it was originally, or maybe when Louis the 16th had it, or the 14th had it, um, I think it was at one point in time it was 68 or 69. So maybe
That
that
is
was because that was
insane.
before the 23 carats were removed.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, so like a huge chunk of it was removed, and you have to assume that it's floating around there, like someone's got it somewhere. Um,
Because diamonds
but
don't just disintegrate. Like diamonds are forever.
yeah, diamonds are a girl. Diamonds are a
Diamonds are
girl's
a
best
girl's best
friend.
friend.
Diamonds are forever.
Isn't
So
that's definitely, hold on, wait. Before we move on, I know that that's like diamonds are forever is something. Diamonds are
diamonds are forever. I
forever.
think it was like the
It might be a
tagline that
James
I.
Bond movie.
Oh, I thought it
It
was like
is
the
a James
tag.
Bond movie. It's a James Bond
Wow,
movie. I'm actually very impressed with myself for getting that because I've
I'm
only ever
impressed
seen
too.
like two James Bond movies. So
I've never seen any.
anyway.
I just know Goldfinger or whatever. Because I don't like that name. I think it's weird.
I don't like that. I know or From Russia with Love is another one, but I'm pretty proud of
Oh,
myself that I got Diamonds Are Forever.
yeah, that was
Anyway,
good. I had literally no idea
sorry
what
to
you were
derail
talking
you.
about. You know I love it. Okay, so now, so it's butchered, whatever. There's still like 45 carats of it, so it's fine. Fast forward to the early 19th century, the diamond enters the hands of a wealthy banker, and his name is Thomas Hope. We're in England, by the way. We're in the UK. I'm not sure if I said that. So it's 1839, and the Hope Diamond, obviously now it's named the Hope Diamond because the person with the last name Hope got the diamond.
Obviously.
And the Hope Diamond appears in a catalog of the gem collection of Thomas's brother. So basically, Thomas Hope owns the diamond. He renames it the Hope Diamond. And then I don't know if this is just something that wealthy people did back then. Like they had catalogs of gem collections that they showed people. I guess it was like a way to flex back then of like showing how many gems they had.
Is
It was
like
like the original
catalogs?
NFT sort of maybe, you know? Just kidding.
I still don't understand what NFTs are, so like I kind of get that
Those
joke,
like
but not
disappeared
really.
overnight. I feel like those disappeared overnight.
I have no idea. Um, I like still don't get like the concept of owning like investing in like digital art, but like if you do, all the power to you because my like puny mind does not understand that. But what was I gonna say? Oh, is it like when they say catalog? Because I also came across that term in my research. Do they actually mean like a physical like what we would think of as like a magazine, like an Oriental Trading
No,
catalog?
probably not.
The
I
American
loved
Girl doll
I
catalog.
loved looking at Oriental Trading, yo. I loved that magazine. And
That was the only way.
I used to think to myself, like, if when I'm an adult, like, I'm gonna buy myself, like, everything from Oriental Trading.
Dude, Oriental Trading was the shit. That was like the
So,
only way to make your Christmas list was to go through all the catalogs and like circle what you wanted.
yes, I
I
miss
miss
those
that.
days. So, to answer your question, I guess I'm sure you're probably right. Catalog has another meaning, and I'm just an idiot.
Let's.
And we're gonna get another review that says that the second one sounds like uneducated or something.
Oh wait, hold
So,
on, hold on.
a catalog of a
I just
gem.
looked up gem catalog.
Okay.
Okay, this just says no. It this is coming up as like an actual catalog. So
So maybe it was just like old-timey photos.
maybe it's like a collection. Like, but what? First of all,
Well,
how do you
either
spell
way,
catalog?
it's a weird looking word. But either
I was
way,
gonna spell
it came onto the scene in 1839 and obviously now it's renamed the Hope Diamond, which is how we know it today. And now we're going to skip forward a little bit to 1911. We're in Washington D.C. and there's a socialite named Evelyn Walsh McLean and she and her husband acquire the diamond. So now Ms. Evelyn owns the diamond. And there have been rumors floating around about its curse, but she doesn't care. She's like, I want this diamond, so she gets it. Um, she has a very extravagant lifestyle. She's, a socialite, so she's well known throughout the community. Um, and I guess it was just like the talk of the town. Everyone thought it was so interesting that she had this big diamond, and I guess I'll be honest, I don't know if there's anything bad that happens to her because I did not do any research on the curse. You're gonna tell me, but um, apparently she and the diamond became the talk of high society. So I guess we'll find out what that means from you soon. Um, and then my last little bit before I wrap up is that McLean eventually sells the diamond to a man named Harry Winston, and Harry Winston donates the diamond to the Smithsonian in 1958. And I believe that is where it remains today.
it sure is.
So that's like the general history, but now let's get into the spooky part of it, which is why everyone is actually here, I think.
So this, I going into this, I was like, I feel like it has to be just like a few coincidences because I remember learning about this like when we went to the Smithsonian, and I was always kind of like, I don't know, like curse. When I
You're
tell
like,
you, I don't know if this like it had so many owners like in between you hit all like the main owners,
yeah.
but it passed hands so many times and the amount of like misfortune that befell all of these people is so crazy. So I really actually kind of went down a rabbit hole with this because I was so fascinated by it. But you're gonna
Ooh.
hear a few like familiar names, like people that you covered, and then like people in between those owners or like people that were associated with those owners that
Okay.
also had some misfortune. So, like you said, the diamond popped up in history somewhere between 1640 and 1667
Hmm.
and obviously fell into the hands of our boy Jean Baptiste Tavernier and it was
Tavernier, as I said.
Tavernier and it was largely rumored at the time that he obtained the diamond through the heist of a Hindu temple. And the diamond was said to be one of two eyes on an idol. And when the diamond was discovered to be missing, the Hindu temple priests placed a curse on whoever possessed the missing diamond.
Okay, well, now everything is starting to make a little bit more sense.
Right? So it like mysteriously cropped up. The diamond was already cut. So I don't know if there's any truth to this rumor, but very
It would make sense.
interesting thing to note, right? It does
Yeah.
kind of check out. Um, and just an interesting note, Tavernier lived a very long and healthy life. So he was unaffected by this curse, but we're going to see that not everyone had that same luck. So,
Okay.
like you said, King Louis XVI, he altered the stone, had it recut, and all of his legitimate children died except one. And King Louis XVI, he suffered through many ailments in his life. He had diabetes, gout, uh, periods of like severe headaches, which we would probably call like migraines today,
Okay.
and like fainting spells. But he did have one of the longest recorded reigns of any monarch in European history. So
So he
there's
had
that.
some good, okay. And you
He had
could
some good
argue,
fortune.
to play devil's advocate throughout this whole thing, I'm gonna say if you look at anyone's life, you can find like a lot of tragedy, right? So it's like,
True.
was it a curse or was it just like humans living their lives? But anyway, I'm reserving judgment because I don't know how I feel yet.
I don't know because I just hear me out first because
Okay.
I told you I went into this and I was like it's not a curse and now I'm like well maybe it
So
was.
it might be a curse.
So so King Louis this oh no I'm sorry did I say the 16th? This is King Louis the 14th.
Okay, yeah, I thought that maybe I
King
had
Louis the
misspoken
14th.
earlier, so I was like, oops.
I have trouble with Roman numerals. So
No,
King
I
Louis
literally had to write
the
out 14th because I did not trust myself.
King Louis the 14th, he died of gangrene and
Ooh.
uh so not good. But he didn't die young or anything. He just had some medical ailments and unfortunately a lot of his children died.
Mhm.
Uh King Louis the 14th's financial advisor, Nicholas Fouquet, he was allowed to wear the stone on like special occasions. He was imprisoned after an argument with the king and he died in captivity. So that kind of sucks.
They had
That
financial advisors back then,
they
first of all.
they had a financial advisor that he got into like a mild argument and then threw him in the jail.
Jeez.
And then he died in captivity. Then King Louis the 14th's chief mistress, which
Oh,
I just want to point out chief mistress is like funny to me. But
yeah.
so his like main side piece,
Yeah,
uh
literally.
Madame de Montespan
Okay.
wore the diamond several times in public and it was like noted. She had a portrait done of her like wearing the French blue and the Catholic Church obviously was not a huge fan because she was promoting like open adultery
Okay.
and she was like a very prominent figure obviously. So they were like get this girl out of here. So it's speculated that people within the Catholic Church started to spread rumors that she was engaging in witchcraft and aphrodisiacs to remain chief mistress, which
Like
I'm like, what
oysters
a
or whatever?
wild, yes, what a wild, like, like witchcraft, and also she was eating a lot of oysters, like,
Yeah, like,
like
oh, you got him. Like,
hello.
that is
And then
bizarre.
so that caused her to be thrown out publicly by the king, and she died in 1707 at the age of 66. So not
Okay.
like, yeah, it's like
Yeah, for that time
misfortune,
period,
but
that's pretty good, but
yeah,
still.
not bad. Yeah,
But
66 isn't
when
bad
the
for
Catholic Church,
1700s.
when the Catholic Church is spreading rumors about you eating oysters,
That's,
that's
I mean,
bad
that's
luck.
just a tough scene. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about that one. So King Louis the 15th inherited the stone, and he was known as one of the most hated rulers of France. Um, and that was might have been due to the stone, but it also may be due to the fact that he lost France almost all of their colonies in the Seven Years' War.
Oh, that's so
So
embarrassing.
I don't know. You take your pick.
It was a
Not
diamond.
sure. Pretty sure. Yeah, I would put my money on that. Uh, then our little friends, King Louis the 16th and his famous wife.
Marie Antoinette.
Yes, very
I got
good.
nervous for a second.
They inherited the stone, and we all know how their story ends. They were
Yeah.
executed by guillotine after being charged with treason against the French people during the French Revolution, a la Les Mis. Um,
Yes. Nice, nice.
and thank you. I had to throw in a little musical theater reference. Then, unfortunately, also, Marie Antoinette's lady in waiting, Princess de Lamballe, she wore the diamond several times, and at the time of their execution, she refused to denounce the royal family. So they dealt with this as you would. They let her loose in a crowd of violent French peasants who tortured and then decapitated her. And this is horrible, but they stuck her head on a spike and like lifted it outside of Marie Antoinette's prison window so that she could see her like decapitated lady, like I guess lady in waiting, like one of her like main
Oh my
servants, her like
God.
I would assume her good friend. So
That's
not
horrible.
good. Yeah, really not good. And then I do want to just at this point the diamond was lost to history, but going forward there is a mentions of like suicide and stuff. So trigger warning for that.
Okay.
But when the diamond was eventually found after its theft from the royal family, it resurfaced in the possession of a diamond cutter named Wilhelm Falls,
Ooh.
and he was going to cut the gem, so his son Hendrik stole the stone, and it was said that his father died from grief, but there's no record of that.
I didn't mean to laugh.
I mean, like,
I didn't think that's where the story was going.
it's I don't know. I don't know about that one. There's no record of it. And then
Okay.
Hendrik committed suicide a few years later. So
Oh.
he gave it to a man named Francis Bollier to pay a debt. And then this Bollier tried to sell it to a diamond dealer named Eliason. But the dealer, Eliason, found Bollier dead in bed when he went to pay. So that's kind of
Oh.
creepy. So Eliason takes the gem, sells it, and later, like very soon after the sale, commits suicide.
Oh man. Okay.
Crazy, right? So
Yeah.
1839, like you said, someone named Henry Philip Hope had possession of the diamond. He died that same year. He passed it to his nephew and then to his grandson, who is Lord Francis Hope. And this is where, I don't know if you listened to our last episode, we mentioned someone who had a connection to the Hope Diamond. This is where she comes in. So in
Uh,
1894, Lord Francis Hope marries Mary Yohe, who was the performer who got her start in the lobby of the Hotel Bethlehem.
yes.
And the pair was not a good match. They engaged in like a very hedonistic lifestyle, and they kind of like squandered their wealth to the point where
Oh.
they were both bankrupt. And Yohe ended up leaving Hope for her beloved U.S. Army captain. We talked a little bit about that in our last episode. Um, and so in 1901, Hope sold the stone to get out of bankruptcy. But unfortunately, in the years that followed, he fell into bankruptcy again. He lost his foot in a hunting accident
Oh.
and officially divorced Mary Yohe, and he died a bankrupt man.
And didn't Mary also not have any luck with love for the rest of her life?
Yes, she was deserted by her U.S. Army captain and died alone. So,
Oh man.
say what you will about this stone, but I
No,
don't
this
know
is
if it was
rough.
just owned by like a bunch of like people with bad luck, but man, we're not even done yet.
Oh my God.
Um,
Yeah, we're only in the 1800s here.
we're only we're literally just into the 20th century, okay,
Oh
right now.
no.
So the stone was bought and sold several times between 1901 and 1908. One notable owner was Jacques Collet, and he bought the diamond and shortly after went mad and killed himself.
Oh.
This is crazy. An actress named Laurence Ledoux wore the diamond for the first time on stage in a performance and was shot from the audience by
What?
her lover, a Russian prince who had bought the diamond for her, and the Russian prince, was later stabbed to death.
Why did he shoot her?
God only knows. It was
What?
rumored that he was the one that shot her. They haven't ever actually been able to confirm it, but that's like the popular.
This is crazy.
Isn't it nuts? And this is an
Oh.
abridged version of like all the owners, because when I tell you there were so many, I had to pick out like the best stories.
No wonder they gave it to the Smithsonian. No one wanted it. I'd be so
It's
scared.
I would not want this either. So then it fell into the hands of a Greek jewel broker, Simon. I'm really gonna try to pronounce his name. Mayon Carides,
Okay.
who sold the stone to Habib Bey, and that night Simon accidentally drove his carriage off a cliff and killed himself, his wife, and his young child.
Oh, that's so
I know.
sad.
It's so sad.
Oh
Habib
man.
Bey sold the stone now to the Sultan of Turkey, and then drowned shortly after in 1909 when a French steamer he was a passenger on board sunk.
Oh, this is okay. I
I'm
would
not, I'm
at this
still
point
going.
I would just give it to like my enemy or like you would think that people would just like purposefully start giving it to people they don't like.
You would think so, but people are just either ignoring or they
Or they
don't
probably don't
know.
believe it. Yeah, they probably just don't
Yeah.
believe it.
So now the Sultan of Turkey, Abdul Hamid II, gave it to a concubine of his, who was then stabbed in the process of the gem being stolen. The thief was caught along with a wrongfully accused accomplice. They were both tortured and then hanged.
Okay. This is actually really freaking weird.
It's so strange. So the stone then re-enters like I guess you like Western
So,
commerce,
yeah.
and it's sold around, and eventually it's sold to Edward B. McLean for his wife Evelyn Walsh McLean. So the weird part about this is that the jeweler who sold it to Edward B. McLean had tried to sell it to Evelyn Walsh previously, and she had refused it, not because she knew the story, but because she didn't like the way the stone was set.
Oh.
So the jeweler reset it in like a different jewelry setting, in like a more modern piece, sold it to her husband, who then gifted it to her,
Oh, so she couldn't like give it away. She probably felt awkward.
which is tough, right? You
Yeah,
never want to
yeah.
return a piece of jewelry. So, that your husband gets you, I would
I know.
assume. So then Mary Yohe, our girl from the Bethlehem Hotel, she's coming back into the scene, and she
What?
goes up to Evelyn and she's like, "Listen, I know you don't believe in this curse, but it's real. Like, you get rid of it as soon as you can. Like, just be careful while in possession of this stone, because like the curse is real whether you believe it or not."
That's
So
a girl's
Evelyn,
girl.
yeah, exactly. So Evelyn is like, "Okay, I don't really believe the curse," but she got it in the process of the sale. It was like negotiated in the contract that it had to be blessed by a priest.
Oh.
So, which is kind of cool, right? So
Yeah.
the now blessed Hope Diamond comes into the possession of Evelyn Walsh McLean, and she made the really bad mistake of mocking the curse, and it came after her with a vengeance.
Oh no.
When her son was 9 years old, he ran out into the street and was struck by a car and died.
Oh God, this is gonna be rough.
Her her husband Edward had an affair, came out with it publicly, and said that he had actually married the woman that he was having an affair with, which turned out not to be true, but it just brought a ton of like
Shame.
drama and like
Yeah.
shame onto Evelyn and Edward, because
Why
they're,
would
like
he
you
say?
said, they're like
Why
huge
would he say that?
socialites. Well, I'll tell you why. It was soon after declared that he was insane because of a
Oh,
brain or not aneurysm, a brain
tumor?
some sort of injury from alcoholism. So he was declared legally insane and sent away to an asylum for the rest of his life, where he then died.
Oh man.
When their daughter was 25 years old, she overdosed accidentally on sleeping pills,
Oh my God.
and Evelyn died of pneumonia at 60 years old.
It's really sad because it's almost like all the bad things happen to like the people around her, like her family, which may
I
it's
know.
almost like more sad.
And she had to like watch all of this before then dying young as well. So
Yeah.
she really got it. She got it bad.
Yeah.
So in her will, it passed on to her surviving kids and then her grandkids, who then sold the diamond to Harry Winston, who eventually was the one who donated the Hope Diamond to the Smithsonian Institution. And that is where it remains today. But unfortunately, the Hope Diamond did claim one more victim.
Who?
The postman who delivered the jewel to the Smithsonian, his name was James Todd, shortly after making that delivery, like same day, crashed his truck and broke his leg, like completely shattered the bones in his leg. After he recovered from that, he crashed his truck again and suffered a severe head injury. Both his wife and his dog died in early death, like
This is so
a very untimely
sad.
demise. I know, it's so sad. And then on top of that, as if that wasn't enough to deal with, his house burnt down.
It, this is like brutal.
It's just crazy how everyone who has come into possession of this has like met
Well,
such a horrible fate.
and he wasn't the mailman wasn't really even in possession of it. He
He
was
didn't
just
own it. Yeah,
transferring it from one place to another.
I know. So, like you said, the Hope Diamond is now prominently displayed in the Harry Winston Room of the Smithsonian Institute in DC, and the Smithsonian Institute is happy to report that they have had nothing but good luck since having the diamond, because it's drawn so many visitors to their
Oh.
precious gemstone collection that it's really actually been quite the stroke of good luck for them.
Well, I'm happy for them, but that doesn't cancel out the like hundreds of people who had horrible occurrences.
I know, I agree. And on like a last little note, do you want to guess how much the diamond is currently insured for?
Oh man. Yeah, I would like to guess. I mean, I'm gonna guess like 5 million.
Way more.
Okay. Okay. How much? Just tell me.
$250 million.
That is so embarrassing how far off I was. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, I was so
I was gonna
off.
say 500 million, and I was gonna say like, oh no, like that's kind of anticlimactic, but
No, because
literally
I was trying
50x.
to like calculate. I was like, okay, how much do I think 1 carat costs? How much do I think, like, yeah, but it's blue too, which also adds to it,
It's
and it's like
blue,
it's famous.
and like if you say, I have no idea, I genuinely have no idea how much like a diamond carat is worth, but I would assume that if you say like, okay, 1 carat worth of diamond is worth, we'll just say like $1,000. I think a 5 carat diamond is like it doesn't,
Oh yeah,
it's not like a linear,
because it's
I think
all
it's like an
together.
exponential.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah.
if 1 carat, like a 1 carat is like $1,000, 5 carats isn't gonna be 5,000, it's probably gonna be
A million,
like I don't know, I
not a
don't even
million,
know,
but like
like 10
a hundred
10,000 or
thousand.
something. I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know. Something like that. But
Wow.
that's
Oh
what I
my,
would
so
assume.
about 250 million. You said is what it's
That's what it's
insured for.
rumored to be insured for.
Wow. Would you
Which
wear it? Would you wear it for the day?
um no, I no,
Yeah,
I don't. I would not. I don't think I would get that much joy out of wearing it, to be honest
I'd
with
be
you,
nervous
to
the
risk
entire
it.
time.
Yeah. I
It's
really
in
like I wouldn't want to risk it. Like what joy is like wearing that around my neck for one day going to bring me? You know what I'm
right.
saying?
And right now, I need to look at it real quick. Um, I
It
was
is
looking.
gorgeous. I always loved sapphires, and
Yeah,
it
it
looks
is
like a
really
more
pretty.
brilliant sapphire. It
So
is.
how long has it been in this particular setting? Because like there's all those diamonds around the main diamond are probably like
They're
big.
huge.
Like,
They're huge.
oh my gosh. It honestly is really pretty though.
I mean,
It
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 is
looks like
stunning.
it sort of looks like Princess Diana's ring, doesn't it?
Yes, it does a little bit.
Oh man.
Wow.
And it's what I thought was interesting was when you were saying the amount of times that people just like wore it who didn't own it. Like that was interesting to me. Like Marie Antoinette's like lady in waiting that would just like wear it sometimes, or like the concubines that would just like wear it. Like that's just so interesting.
So I know it is interesting, but also not to go off topic, to answer your previous question, I just found a image of Evelyn Walsh McLean wearing it, and it looks to be in the setting that it's currently in. So
Okay,
maybe when it got reset into that more modern setting for her husband
that's
before
what's
he purchased it, I think that's
that makes sense.
it. Yeah, I mean this. Wow, this look at. I mean that doesn't even look comfortable to wear.
No, I would
It is
probably be
so massive.
dragging your neck down.
I mean, I can't
It's
even
so
wear like
pretty.
earrings if they're too heavy. Imagine wearing this
Yeah,
like huge. To- I mean, it's gotta be like at least a pound,
it's
right?
so pretty.
The diamond
Oh yeah,
itself has to be at least a pound.
look at it. It's so pretty though.
It is gorgeous. Well, unfortunately, I don't think you and I will ever be in possession of it.
I think that's fortunate actually.
Yeah, you know what? I revoke that.
I'm
Fortunately,
happy
I
with
don't
that.
think either of us
Yeah.
are ever gonna own the Hope Diamond, so
I'm okay with that. I am a-okay with that.
me too. I actually really liked this. It was a kind of a switch up because it's not haunted per se, but it's something's definitely going on here. It's definitely
Something's going
cursed.
on. Yes, some sort of yeah, the curse. I would say I believe in the curse. I'm much more likely to believe in the curse now that I've heard all those stories. Like
That's what
when
I'm saying.
you just kept going and going, and I was like, what is happening?
When I tell you I cut some of the stories out because I was like, I don't want this to be like an hour and a half long episode. It was, I mean, like, I highly encourage you all to go read the history of it because the Smithsonian has like a pretty good history of it. And like, if you look up Curse of the Hope Diamond, I mean,
You can go
that
into a
thing
rabbit hole.
traveled. That thing traveled.
Yeah, yeah. It was on all countries, all continents, all sides of the world.
Very cool. Just a very cool. I really liked this episode.
Yeah, it was fun. This was a fun one.
All right, well, we gotta go because we're gonna go record our first episode of our newest Patreon series. But we will see you all again very soon.
Be sure to send us in any ideas of any places that you want us to talk about.
Yes, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter. Our email is eastcoasthaunts at it's east.coast.haunts@gmail.com. We're always happy to hear from you guys, so please reach out with anything, any suggestions, and to keep us growing as a podcast, please remember to leave us a 5-star review on whatever platform you listen on. We really do truly appreciate every single review that comes through. So, thank you
After all,
guys.
we're just two gals creeping it real.
And on that note,
Bye.
bye.